You never really think your heartbreak will bring you a best friend. But life has a funny way of turning the ugliest moments into something strangely beautiful. It all started in my final year of college. I was dating someone I thought was my forever. He was charming, kind in public, and the type of guy everyone liked. The kind of man who could make you feel like you were the only person in a crowded room. For almost 2 years, we were inseparable. Study sessions, long drives, inside jokes that made no sense to anyone else. I used to think love was supposed to feel effortless. But effortlessness sometimes hides the effort to deceive. I found out he was cheating by accident. It wasn't a dramatic reveal, no lipstick on his shirt, no whispered phone calls in the dark. It was just a random message on his phone from a name I didn't recognize. At first, I brushed it off, but curiosity has a way of protecting you before your heart realizes it's in danger. I checked again later that week, and that's when the truth started unraveling. Messages, pictures, dates, all the things that used to be ours, now shared with someone else. My world didn't crash in one blow. It cracked slowly, like a mirror holding on until it couldn't anymore. What hurt most wasn't that he cheated. It was realizing how casual it seemed to him. Like breaking my heart wasn't even memorable. He just looked at me, expressionless, and said it didn't mean anything. That sentence alone shattered me more than the cheating ever could, because to me, it meant everything. For weeks, I walked around campus numb. Everyone said the same things. You'll get over it. He wasn't worth it. You deserve better. But those words don't heal. They just fill the silence where your pain echoes. Then, one afternoon, something unexpected happened. The girl, the one he cheated with, she messaged me. She had just found out about me. Her text was short, but raw. I didn't know. I'm so sorry. I stared at the screen for a long time. I didn't know how to respond. Part of me wanted to hate her. She was the name in those messages, the face in the photos. But something about her message, the way her guilt bled through those few words, made me pause. I wrote back, "It's not your fault. He lied to both of us." We started talking. Slowly at first, cautious, awkward messages, trying to make sense of the same man who had broken us both. It turned out she was just as blindsided as I was. She wasn't the villain I imagined. She was another victim in the same story, trying to piece together why someone would play with two hearts at once. At first, our conversations were about him trying to understand what we missed, what he said to each of us, how he managed to juggle the lies so easily. But soon, something shifted. We stopped talking about him and started talking about ourselves, our lives, our families, our dreams, our insecurities. It was like meeting someone who already understood a part of you no one else could. Our shared pain became a bridge. What started as trauma therapy turned into genuine friendship. We laughed at the same memories that once made us cry. We swapped stories, learned each other's quirks, and somewhere in that mess, we found comfort. The kind that doesn't demand anything, just companionship and understanding. Months later, we started hanging out in person, and it felt natural, like we'd known each other for years. People around us couldn't believe it. "You're friends with her?" they'd ask. "The girl he cheated with?" But yes, I was it, because it stopped being about him a long time ago. It became about reclaiming something he tried to destroy: our self-worth, our trust, our laughter. And the funniest part, he couldn't stand it. He saw us together at a cafe once, laughing, taking selfies, looking he froze like he'd seen a ghost. The confusion on his face was priceless, like he couldn't compute how two women he'd hurt could possibly sit across from each other and thrive. I remember whispering to her, "He looks like he's seen karma in human form." She burst out laughing, and that laugh alone was worth every tear we'd cried. We didn't plan revenge, but somehow what we built became the best kind of justice. Not loud or cruel, but radiant. We became the proof that healing doesn't need to be lonely, that you can find strength in the person you were supposed to hate. That sisterhood can rise out of betrayal like light through broken glass. Years passed. We grew closer. Birthdays, bad days, breakups, new jobs. She became my confidant, my chosen family. The bond we shared was real, and it had nothing to do with him anymore. He faded into a footnote in our shared history, while we became the story. Sometimes, when we talk about those old days, we laugh about how it all started. "Can you believe," she says, "we met because of him?" And I always reply, "Yeah, but I'd go through it all again if it meant meeting you." That's the part people miss about stories like ours. It's not about revenge. It's about reclamation. It's about turning betrayal into connection and finding peace in the most unexpected places. If you told me back then that I'd end up best friends with the girl my boyfriend cheated with, I would have laughed in disbelief. But now, looking back, it makes perfect sense. She was never the enemy. She was the person who showed me how to rise above the wreckage. He might have broken two hearts, but in the end, he lost both, and we found each other. That's the kind of ending you don't need to plan. That's the kind of revenge that writes itself.